Hey everyone, welcome to RTech. So what I've got for you today is I am going to be replacing the battery on my 2018 BMW R1200RT. I'm going to go ahead and go through the steps to show you how to do it. And if you're curious, on this model, the battery is right behind here. Now, in order to do this, you are going to need at least two tools. One you're going to need is going to be the T25 Torx key, which is going to be for this. And then to undo the battery, generally it's a 10 millimeter that you're going to need to remove the nut. We'll see when we open it up and see if that one is still a 10 millimeter or not. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and remove this plate. There are going to be two screws that you need to worry about in order to take this off. You got one right here. You got another one right down here. Okay, with both of those removed, pull it out. And at this point, you now have your battery exposed. That is going to be this right here. Can't really reach it yet, but we'll go ahead and take the little battery strap off. Just basically have to pull it out from the bottom. Okay, just move that out of the way. Now for this cover here, you basically have to pull it up so that it unlatches from these two little spots down here, because this is what's holding it in. Once you're able to lift it up, then just pull it straight out. So what I'm gonna do is use a screwdriver to help lift the battery up so I can get this thing out of here. And there it goes. You can see you basically had to lift it up high enough to pull this entire thing out. Now from here, just go ahead and slide the battery out. However, it is caught under this little lip here. So again, you might need to use something to help pry your battery up just a little bit and then try to pull the battery out. It's not going to come out very far because it's such a tight fit and the cables are really small. So you need to be able to pull it out just far enough so you can access this to remove it. That's about as far as it's going to go. And this one does feel like it's a 10 millimeter. Okay, there's that screw. Now that that's out, go ahead and pull the battery out the rest of the way. All right, there it goes. Make sure you keep an eye on all your cables so you know, put everything back when you're done. As you can see here, you've only got one on this one, and that's because the main cable actually runs over here, and that's where you're hooking all the rest of your accessories up to. Let me go ahead and remove this one. All right, and here is the battery. This is the original battery. So I got this bike in 2018. So this battery has lasted good 4.5 years, although it spent most of its life being connected to a trickle charger. So I don't know if that helped extend it or not, but considering the Texas heat, that's actually really good. Okay, and to put the replacement battery I'm putting in here, I actually decided to go with a lithium battery. In this case, I'm going with a NOCO. No real reason for it. I just figured I'd give it a try. And so I'm going to go ahead and install this one. As you can see, it's so much lighter than the stock battery is. I think this one is 2.5 pounds if I remember right. And this lithium is actually a lithium iron phosphate, a LifePO4 battery. And you do need special chargers if you go with lithium, so be aware of that. You can't use your standard AGM batteries or lead acid battery chargers for these. All right, so let's go ahead and install this. Now, thinking about these lithium batteries, they're actually a lot smaller than your stock batteries are as well. And so for some of the batteries, because of the fact that they're so much smaller, they do give you spacers to help fill in the gap. And the one thing you want to do is when you get it, just like the lead acids, you do need to charge it up before its first use. And these are the spacers that this particular one gives you in order to help try to fill in the gap. They give you 4 different spacers. You got a 17 millimeter and then 3 25 millimeter spacers here. And then here's the actual battery itself. And you can see why it gives you the spacers, just rather like this. I'm probably not going to fill it all the way up to the top like the other one was, just because of the fact that there was no space up here to easily remove it, but I am going to need to fill in some of the gap. I mean, other than that, as you can see, it is a good fit. It's just the height is off, that's all. And with this particular battery, you've actually got 3 ways to screw your bolt into it, technically 4. You've got 1, 2, 3, and you can take this off and screw it directly in here. And if necessary, you can actually remove this plate cover here in case you needed in case something needed to be mounted there. As you can see, because this has got the gap here for this battery, this gives you the option of doing that as well if you need to. In terms of the length and width, it's almost identical to the stock battery. The only thing different is going to be the height. This is a whole lot shorter than the stock one is, and that's the reason why we've got the different spacers here that we'll be able to tack onto it in order to fill in the gap somewhat, at least as much as you want to. But if you do want this to be the exact same height as the stock, 225 millimeters will get you there. But like I said, I don't want it to be the exact same height. I'm gonna probably go with the 25 and 17 here. I think this will get me close to what I want. Yeah, see, that'll give me a little bit more of a gap so the cables are not completely crushed like they were before. All right, but for now, let's go ahead and go with this. Like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and go with the 17 with 117 and 125. Now, as you see for this one, it's got 2 bolts sitting here on the top. Those are actually the bolts that come with it for the battery in order to bolt your terminals down. And you can also use the stock 10 millimeter terminals if you want to. Honestly, I am going to use these for the main positive and the negative. I'm gonna see if I can still slide this in here with this because I don't want to lose this one, but I'm going to use this one, and I think I'm going to go ahead and use the main negative right here is going to be up on top, but I'm going to use these 3 extra ones. I'm going to see if I can go ahead and mount it here on the side instead, just so that I don't have to try to shove so many terminals on one little post. Go ahead and take these off. Hopefully it'll fit in here because of the fact that this is right on the edge, and you can see how big the terminals are on here, so it might overhang, but I'm going to see if I can go ahead and get it to fit anyways. And if not, like I said, you can always just take this whole piece off and just screw it directly down instead of using these blocks. I can slide it over enough so it should be fine. Okay. Actually, before I do that, we're going to put these on here. And actually, this is one of the reasons why I selected this NOCO as well, is because of the fact that it had more posts in order to tie everything down into. Kind of liked that design. Whether this ends up being a good design or not, find out soon enough. All right, there you go. Shove the rest all the ways in. Okay, and it just went over the little lip here. At this point, you just got to put everything else in the reverse order. Try to rearrange this a little bit better. There we go. You can see now I've got a little bit of room up here in order to push these things out of the way just a little bit better. All right, now from this point on, you're just, like I said, just going to do it in reverse. You gotta get this in under this battery, which, like I said, luckily I made it a little bit shorter than the old battery is, so now I've actually got space to work with here, unlike before. Yes, this battery here will actually go up, so I can get this in here now. There we go. Yeah, having just a little bit of gap here did help. And now at this point, all you gotta do is just hook these back under here. Now, that's it. I mean, just put the side cover back on and you're done. All right, and there you go. That is very simple to do. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. This was a battery replacement on a 2018 BMW R1200RT. I replaced the lead acid battery with a lithium iron phosphate battery. If you guys have any questions about this battery or the replacement procedure itself, please feel free to ask me in the comments below, and I will try to answer you to the best of my abilities. In the meantime, thanks again for watching. I appreciate it. Y'all have a great day, and y'all stay safe out there.